that, so as fathers, we need to give attention to them before they demand it. And I think this is true, that up to a certain age, the mothers do a lot of the nurturing. This is what my wife keeps telling me and so on. And I think that's true. Of course, a man mustn't be absent because we've got to put our input. But I think which I think is 12 or 13 or something, right? And I think it's important that that age, when you have boys, that the father really takes over the education and the nurturing, the training, the discipling. And I've seen that true of me, and I've had this belief system in my mind, like, you take care of my children to a certain age and I'll take over. And I think I've always had that. And I think that's been correct in some ways, but I think another way, it's been that I've almost ignored them, not ignored them like don't speak to them, but just not interact with them enough until a certain age. I should have had more input. And what I've also noticed, that their education now is based on relevant things for the 21st century, not just, you know, what they're learning in school, which is just trash. I mean, it really is so outdated, it's unbelievable, right? And so I'm cutting out all the trash and going from basic education, learning English and maths, so on, straight into work. And in the case of my oldest daughter, she's now doing a degree which she started at 15.
Just got to go
right?
see my daughter.
And she's doing the degree without any high school qualification. So we bypass the whole high school system of the beast and going straight into, you know, what she wants to be doing, you see? So I just think, I'm going off track, but I just think the whole way that we've been taught education is wrong. And we go back to the biblical model, which is the parents educate. You know, Joseph taught Jesus carpentry. Jesus was a carpenter. And if you look at historically in Africa, in Europe, you learnt your father's trade. Your father discipled you. Of course, you can go beyond that. If you're gifted in other areas, you shouldn't be limited to it. But I think it's good to learn your father's trade, maybe. If not, maybe there's other people in the family or there's close friends, and you learn as a community. That's why you see doctors give birth to other doctors, give birth to doctors, give birth to doctors, and lawyers give birth to lawyers, lawyers give birth to lawyers. It tends to repeat. I don't know, what do you think about that?
That's so interesting, because I've always spoken to my husband and said, you know what, there's something also I learned, that it takes a long time for, you know, a child to go through school until they are ready for university. You know, it's not personalized education. I think it's a question also of creating time for these children, for the father also to be with, you know, to be involved in their lives, you know, because it's so important. If we are not careful, then work takes over. Those children don't get that time with their father. Just like you said, you know, familiarity breeds contempt. You know, if the father is there and he says, you know, if he says, okay, your mom has said this, haven't you heard? And they will just go off and do it.
Certain things have come up that immediately means that I'm going to have changes in our life. So it's going to be instant. I'm an instant man. That's it. So I think it's had some good effects now on our family. And even before this meeting, as Tamara was preparing, God was speaking to us about things that we've already put into place, changes we've already made. So I think it's been a very, very important, precious and valuable contribution to our lives, and one which my children are going to greatly appreciate, and we are, and it's going to hugely enhance our lives, hugely. The impact that all this has had on us has been very big. So I want to say thank you and well done for obeying God.